So with today being the first day of October, aka spooky month, yeah, so I am gonna read you guys a creepypasta today. Oh my god, the first time? Oh god, Psycho's reading? Oh god, oh no, this is gonna be horrible. His speech impairment then go brr, you know what I'm saying? But hey, we're here, right? We're here, we're chilling. Yeah, let's get into this. Already got a long intro. I found myself on Facebook Marketplace looking for cheap volumes of One Piece. To my luck, I managed to find the first 50 volumes for only $25. This seems like too good of an opportunity. I contacted the seller and he agreed to sell them to me. This place wasn't too far from my house, so I drove there. I rang the doorbell and an elderly man answered the door. He handed me a box. I opened it and looked inside. There was a collection of One Piece volumes, a little dusty, but still in a mid condition. I couldn't contain my excitement. That was more than half of my collection completed. I gave him the money and he gave me the box. I thanked him, but he didn't reply and closed the door. I was a little confused, but dismissed it and went back into my car. As I drove off, I noticed that he was staring at me from his window. I was a little creeped out, but made nothing of it. When I got home, I brought the box to my room where I could proceed to shelf the volumes that I had bought, but something felt off. Suddenly, one of the volumes fell out my hand. It was the first volume of the series. I picked it up, but I noticed something. In the place of Luffy's smile was a frown, as if he was sad. Another thing was that Sora was missing, as was Nami. Luffy was by himself. Out of curiosity, I began reading the first chapter. It started off normally with Roger's execution, but there was no text, only silent. I flipped to the next page and it cut to Dawn Island. Luffy had a knife in his hand, ready to stab himself below the eye, but instead of doing so, he began crying and crying until he dropped his knife. I was a little freaked out at this point. It cut to the scene at the bar, but Luffy was by himself. This wasn't how I remembered the beginning of One Piece. Instead of claiming that he wanted to become the king of the Pirate King, Luffy didn't say anything. I was very confused, but my curiosity kept me going. The next few pages was blank. Eventually, it cut to the present day, where Luffy was meant to start off his journey, but instead, all he was doing was gazing at the sea. Suddenly, he began laughing hysterically. Until tears began pouring out of his eyes. Suddenly, he leaped into the sea, let himself sink, while his expression turned into a frown. I couldn't read anymore. My mind only guessed as to happen next. I assumed that this must have been some kind of sick joke. Suddenly, I noticed the back of the book had a name John encrypted. I believe that this must have been the original owner. I put the book away. That same night, I had a nightmare about Luffy drowning. All while he stared at me as if he was staring deep into my soul. I woke up in cold sweat. I couldn't sleep. The next day, I brought the box of books back to the old man's house, wanting to return it. I rang his doorbell. I rang his doorbell 3 times, but nobody answered. One of the neighbors noticed me and asked me if I was looking for someone. I told him that I was looking for the old man. I described it to them. Their expression turned to shock. They told me that the very old man that I described passed away many years ago. My heart sunk. This is impossible. I saw him yesterday, I said. He sold me these books. The person said that those books used to belong to his grandson who drowned while at the beach many years ago. I asked them, what was his name? They replied, John.
Man, what the fuck is you talking about?
What the fuck was that?
I'm sorry, man. No,
What the fuck did I just read? That shit was so ass. It was so funny. Such an ending. His name was John. Bruh. Well, I couldn't sleep one night due to my insomnia, so I decided to watch Adult Swim. When I went to it in the channel selection, I saw Aqua Teen Hunger Force was on. But then I noticed something weird. Normally after ATHF, American Dad came on, but instead of American Dad, it said that One Piece was coming on. But One Piece only came on Saturday night at the time. I just figured that they had somehow messed up the programs. I had accidentally set One Piece to play. Oh well, I thought. I love One Piece anyway, though I preferred the sub version to the dub. So I watched the rest of Aqua Teen Hunger Force and waited for One Piece to come on. But when Aqua Teen Hunger Force ended, no credits or in between commercials came on. It just cut to a black screen. I thought my Wi-Fi was just messing up again. We don't get the best signal, but I checked on my tablet and it was still connected. Weird, I thought. After about 2 or 3 minutes of the same black screen, it finally changed, but instead, the normal One Piece intro sequence, it cut right to a picture of Luffy standing against a completely black background with his head down. It stayed there for several minutes, not moving at all. It then cut to a new scene with Zoro sitting alone in the room, looking somewhat depressed. It's probably the best way to describe it. Luffy walked in. I noticed that his head was still down, hiding his eyes. Zoro then began to speak, but it was in Japanese. Not to mention, it had no subtitles, so I had no idea what he was saying. Okay, this is just getting weirder, but the tone of Zoro's voice, I could tell he was terrified of something. While he was talking, I recognized the word onage, which means please. Oh, wait, that's a big ass roach. What the fuck? Where the fuck did that go? Onagi, which means please. After Zoro finished talking, Luffy began approaching him slowly, his head staying down the whole time. The look of depression on Zoro's face quickly dissipated into that of pure terror. When Luffy stood before Zoro, he began to cry. He began repeating the word onage over and over again. Luffy grinned, his eyes still hidden. He raised his arm, which held what appeared to be a knife, and brought it down on Zoro's chest. He screamed, coughing up blood. Luffy twisted the knife in his chest, causing more screams of pain to erupt. The fucking roach threw me off. Eventually Zoro stopped screaming. His arms and legs went limp, and all life left his eyes. I thought that perhaps the nightmare was over, but no. It cut to the next screen, which showed Robin facing the wall. Footsteps could faintly be heard in the background. After a moment, a knife was plunged into Robin's spinal cord. She screamed and sunk to the floor. The scene faded to black once again, and when the next scene came, it was Nami on her knees. She was crying, and from what I could tell, begging for her life. Suddenly a sword swooped in, hitting Nami in the neck, decapitating her. The next scene showed Usopp. Damn, they're all getting killed off. Damn, bro, what the fuck? Yeah, totally broke character there. The next scene showed Usopp bound and gagged. He was then picked up by Luffy, who then proceeded to throw him into the ocean. Damn. He faded to black before showing the first picture of Luffy, and Luffy head down, standing against a black background, and then zoomed in on his face when he looked up, revealing his eyes for the first time. During that nightmare, his eyes were completely black, save for one white spot in the middle. They also appeared to be dripping blood. His mouth then contorted into the most twisted, evil, malicious smile I have ever seen. And then it went right to American Dad. No credits, no commercials, no nothing. As if it had never happened. I don't know how that nightmare came into existence. I don't know why someone would want to make something so horrible. But I do know this. I won't be watching One Piece for a while. So what are you guys' thoughts on those stories? What I don't even know what to say. The first one was like okay, I guess. The second one, I mean, it's creepypastas. They're never supposed to be good. I mean, there are good creepypastas out there, but not this one. This one, these two were something. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll be doing this for the whole month of October. If I can find any anime-related horror stories or creepypastas for you guys, I'm gonna read them. So yeah, hope you guys do enjoy this. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone. Have a nice night. And don't let, I don't know what I was gonna say there. Okay, just ended. I'm coming for those toes.